Good evening, future supervisors of EDC 5102, Section 43 of Fall 2008. I am Antonio Lopez, and today I'm going to be offering a presentation about a behavior plan known as zones of regulation. I would like to start my presentation by reminding you that I currently serve as a teacher of behavioral disabilities in a kindergarten through third grade self-contained class. As you can see from my very messy classroom, these students need several strategies throughout the day so that they can get into a position where they're able to learn. As educators, it's safe to assume that we all at least have a fundamental knowledge of Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. If we look down at the pyramid, we notice at the very bottom are physiological needs. Those include food, water, warmth, and rest. So, zones of regulation is one way that students are able to identify that that's how they're feeling, and that will enable them to use strategies to express that to get them moving up higher so that learning can occur. Also, safety needs, we notice, is above that. So are students scared? Are they feeling nervous about something? Are they experiencing anxiety? Those are all things that are going to inhibit a student from getting to an area where he's at his best. Above that is love and belonging of needs. So those are the social needs. Okay, that would be very important for young students to feel a sense of belonging. And they also need strategies to express that if that's something they're struggling with. Above that, self-esteem needs and self-fulfillment. Using zones of regulation, it provides students with a mindfulness and an awareness of their feelings so that learning can occur. Oftentimes, special needs children have difficulty verbalizing their feelings. Therefore, zones of regulation is a concept that associates different feelings with a color. The colors are blue, green, yellow, and red. I would like to preface this presentation by stating that the green zone is where we want to be. The green zone is where learning can occur. So if we look at the green zone, that's when we're feeling happy, calm, feeling okay, focused, ready to learn. Okay? That's where the most learning engagement is going to take place. If we look at the blue zone, if you look at some of the faces that are associated with it, this is most likely where students feel a little sad, sick, tired, bored, moving slowly. Okay? So, if the student can identify that he's feeling one of those emotions, it's easier to accommodate that student. For example, if he's feeling tired, you may say, "Would you like a drink of water?" Okay? Or, "Would you like to use some other strategy?" For example, in our classroom, we have a calm corner, and the students can request a short break. If they are bored, that's a good time to increase the level of engagement. Okay, can you incorporate technology, maybe a video? In this classroom is very small, so we often use videos where the students are able to dance and move their bodies. Okay, get them out of the blue zone, back in the green zone. Okay, and that is the basic premise of zones of regulation, is what strategies can we use to get back into this green zone. So let's look at the yellow. The yellow is frustrated, worried, silly, excited, or loss of self-control. Okay, so if we look at the first one, frustrated, if a student states that he or she is frustrated and they identify that they're in the yellow zone, that might be a good time to take a break to accommodate the task. Okay, maybe offer less problems if they're perceiving the task to be too long. If they're worried about something, maybe that's a good time to go over their schedule. Oftentimes students with behavioral disabilities or students on the spectrum experience anxiety worrying about time and a schedule. If a student is too excited, think about what strategies can they use to get back into the green zone so that they can curb some of that excitement. The loss of self-control In this classroom, students have different things that they can squeeze, or they can request different types of breaks. One break that we use quite often is our trampoline. So depending on the time of the day or how they're feeling, they will count down for about 30 seconds and be able to jump out some of that excitement. Lastly, we have the red zone, which is the danger zone. That's when students are feeling mad or angry, terrified, yelling, hitting, elated, or out of control. Okay, at this point, it's very likely that the student will not be able to verbalize how he or she is feeling, or what they need, what they want, or what it's going to take to get them back to the green zone. So it's important that first we identify that they're in the red, and then we can use strategies to get them back towards the green. Currently, each student has a clipboard. So, in a crisis situation, that student may be able to identify that they're in the red. Now, it's very important that demands maybe have to be removed and accommodations are met for that student. Okay, but this is going along with the lines of safety and keeping the environment safe for all. As you can see, we have this bulletin board where the students in the morning place their names under the zone that they're feeling or identify with. They've been removed for purposes of this presentation. However, each day they would place it under that color. We would start the morning by saying, if they're in the blue zone, were you a little tired? What time did you go to bed? Would you like a drink of water? Things like that. But more than likely, they are in the green zone, ready to start their day. As stated, when a student is in crisis or is in the red zone or yellow zone, it is oftentimes very difficult for them to verbalize or use their words to explain what they need or what's going to help them get back to the green zone so that learning can occur. Oftentimes, a student will choose to either point or just take the card for their choice that's going to enable them to get back into the green zone. As I've demonstrated, this program relies heavily on the use of visuals. However, it's also important for you to instruct the students and teach them some of the words that can go along with each of the zone. So for the blue zone, okay, you're going to want to tell them that that's when you're tired, sleepy, hungry, or your energy level is just a little bit low. Okay, green zone. Okay, the students should learn words like focused, engaged, ready to learn, paying attention, and all of the words that would indicate that the student is focused and ready to learn. Yellow zone, okay, for younger students, maybe they feel a little excited, maybe they feel a little antsy. As students get a little older, you might want to use words like energetic, okay, but this is that zone where that level of energy is a little bit increased. Okay, we need to kind of come down a little bit so we can get back into the green zone. Red zone, again, that's our danger zone. That's where we want to avoid. So hopefully, if they can identify their yellow, that'll reduce the likelihood that they'll get to the red zone. Okay, but red zone is angry, mad, upset, or out of control. That concludes my presentation on zones of regulation. For our class, I will be providing everybody with this checklist, which just gives some key words for each zone. This would be a good idea to give to your students so that they can also write the activities that help them get to the green zone or ways that they can get out of these other undesired zones back into the green zone. I'm sure I went way over time. Before you get too far in the blue zone, I'm going to conclude my presentation. Thank you and have a good night.